Hello and welcome to Breaking Bad Communication Habits with Jan Harrison.
Do your bad habits stand in the way of your success? Would you even know if they were? Great communicators aren't born, they're bred, and any of us can continually improve. Think about it. Could you do your job without communicating successfully? Of course not. We depend on others to get things done. We interact with customers, clients, and the general public. We connect with one another in person, by phone, electronically. And those connections are more successful when our communication skills are strong. Over the next hour, we'll look at ways to improve your credibility, to make sure your listener or your reader understands you the first time. And we'll even help you manage your emotions, because face it, not all the other guys are cool, calm, and collected in their communication habits. You'll come away with tips on how to enhance your credibility with higher-ups and professional strangers. You'll be a better listener. You'll learn how to communicate so that you don't have to repeat, follow up, track down, and otherwise tackle the other person so he or she will do what you want. You'll write better emails, faster, clearer, and without anyone telling you that you're too blunt. You'll learn how to keep your cool, even when others are losing theirs. And we'll look at some of those common nonverbal mistakes that some of us do make. You'd be surprised how many of us make credibility-killing blunders without even realizing it. It's like, having a piece of spinach stuck in your tooth. You have no idea, but that's all the other person can focus on. Here are the 5 most common credibility killers. Number 1, fillers. Those useless words or sounds that take up airspace but they add no value. Or my personal favorite, like. As in, like, I have this meeting, like, later, and, it's going to be, really important, like. Oh. Personally, I hear nothing other than like. The second, uptalk. This sometimes goes with the like talkers, as in, like, I have this meeting later, like. Every sentence sounds like a question because every sentence ends with a voice going up. Number 3, inappropriate smiling. Smiles are infectious, and they sure beat a frown. But sometimes the topic doesn't warrant a smile, and then that smile looks downright creepy. Number 4, wandering eyes. Ceiling, floor, other people, other body parts. Some people's eyes seem to go everywhere except to your own. Eye contact is an essential piece of effective communication, yet it amazes me how many of us forget that. Number 5, body language that screams, I have no confidence. People believe those who believe in what they're saying. When you fidget, duck your chin, turn slightly away from your audience, these are signals that you are unsure of what you're saying, and they kill your credibility. So how do you break some of these bad habits? Well, try some of these exercises. If fillers are your problem, first, identify yours. An occasional is certainly acceptable. You just don't want a barrel full. Recognize that silence between statements is actually a sign of strength, as long as you look serious and confident rather than panicked and struggling to find a word. Well, your listener assumes that you're carefully thinking about those next words. You're preparing what you'll say rather than blurting whatever comes to mind. If uptalk is the problem, you might not be aware of it. Many aren't because a whole generation is comfortable with this communication style, but it is a definite credibility killer, so it's best to get over the habit sooner rather than later. Ask your friends if you're uptalking. Better yet, ask an older friend or relative. Listen carefully to your own friends and see if you can hear the inflections at the end of sentences. See how each sounds like a question? That's what you want to eliminate. It's melodic. It's lovely. It's easily understood. It also kills your credibility. So make sure your statement sounds firm, confident, and that the last part of the sentence trails downward. Smiling. It's a good habit. So how do you smile appropriately? I think that's actually the wrong question. What you want to consider is, how do you convey a facial expression that says, I'm open to communication. I'm ready to connect with you. That is a facial expression that is appropriate no matter what the topic. And too many of us do this badly. So here's the trick. Now, it's going to seem weird at first, but go with it, and I promise you will learn something new. Right now, smile. Smile big, really big. Don't get all self-conscious. Just smile really, really big. Okay, now relax just your mouth. Okay, that didn't work so well for some of you. So let me explain. When you smile really big, your whole face smiles. That big smile just on the verge of laughter, that face is infectious. Anyone else who sees that face instantly connects. It's a great face to connect with others. However, if the topic is serious, a great big smile is just plain wrong. So we want the connection without the inappropriateness. When any of us smiles really big, lots of muscles get involved. Your cheeks move up. Your eyes open wider. You may feel your ears move back. Sometimes eyebrows move up and out a bit. All of those muscles should stay in place when you relax your mouth. Now that will leave you with what's called an open countenance. Your face will invite others to connect, to communicate, and wow, is that credibility. So, let's try it again one more time. Smile really big with your whole face. Hold it. Notice all the muscles, and now just relax your mouth. Okay, some of you need to practice that one. I recommend you try it while you're driving. It's going to help cut down on road rage. Okay, our next credibility killer is those wandering eyes. The best way to practice this is with people that you know well and are comfortable with. Work hard to keep your eyes on theirs. Look into the eyes, not at them. It's okay to look at the left one and then the right. It will feel natural over time. But looking into someone's eyes is a great way to not only connect, but to improve communication and credibility. For most wanderers, eye contact is toughest when they are thinking and speaking. They let their eyes go somewhere neutral, kind of stare into space. Now, as a listener, I know they're thinking, and I respect that. But after a while, I find I want to jump into their line of sight and say, "Yoo-hoo, I'm still here." So if you are a thinker-starer, try moving that sight line a bit closer to the other person. And occasionally make those eye connections even while you're still thinking. If it means you lose your train of thought, that's fine. In fact, you can say so. It's better to lose your train of thought than to lose your connection to the person with whom you intend to share that thought. Finally, body language. We've all heard the data. 7% of verbal communication is what you say. 93% is body language, tone of voice, and facial expression. So this stuff is pretty darn important. I had a client once in my consulting business that was struggling with rumors among his workers. Now, this was the owner of a small manufacturing firm in New England. It was a family business, steadily successful. Things were going well. In fact, he told me that work was a joy compared to home. You see, his son had turned 15 and was suddenly causing he and his wife all kinds of pain. People saw the owner coming to work every morning with a pinched face and defeated posture, and they concluded that the company was in trouble. His worries from home were causing the negative body language, but since that body language was on display at work, well, at least in the mornings, he was communicating failure to his workers. If your shoulders ache from a too vigorous workout, or your head hurts from a too late night out, or your stomach aches from a too spicy dinner out, watch your body language. Those signs might be misinterpreted. You want to stand tall. You want to sit tall. Shoulders squared, back, and relaxed. Arms loose at your sides. Feet planted firmly on the ground. Don't sway and don't pose like you're on the red carpet. Feet are hip-width apart. Weight evenly distributed. If you're sitting, don't cross your legs or lean far back in your chair. Well, unless you're in negotiations, and that's a completely different strategy. If you are in a chair, lean forward slightly from the hip joints, not from mid-back. That way you won't slump, and you're less likely to look propped up on your forearms with your head dropped down like a turtle. Shoulders are down and back. Yeah, I know I said that, but it's a big area of negative body language for an awful lot of people. Head squared, eyes level with your audience. Keep your hands visible. Don't stick them in your pockets. If you'd like to see an example of how to do this well, check out a Marine at ease. Nobody does easy confidence better.